Alright, you bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today I want to talk about something I've been experimenting with, and that is glow tape. But before we talk about that, if you're interested in survival courses in Belgium, there will be a link to my webpage to my survival courses in Belgium, and also to my book called Bloody Crosses. It's in Dutch, it's a detective story, so if you're interested, take a look, I would say. So, glow tape. It is something that have caught my eye, and I wanted to test it out if it's really as good as it seems. So, what can you do with glow tape? First of all, what is glow tape? Glow tape is just tape with phosphorus elements inside of it that will take UV light from the sun and keeps it in there and radiate it back when it's dark. So that's the glow part. And the second question that I had for this was, is this poisonous? It's not radioactive, but you should not swallow it, I would say. There's a big fucking rat over there in my garden. I will shoot that one later. Alright, so first, what can you do with glow tape? Well, there are several things you can do. The first thing that came to mind was, if you are sleeping in a tent or a shelter during a bug out, you want to have your light with you, but the problem could be if you're turning your sleep, or you knock it, it knocks down and rolls away. It's in the dark, it's hard to find, and especially during a bug out, you want to get out of there as fast as possible if there is some sort of danger, or if you want to look at it. So what you can do is, around your flashlight, you can put some glow tape around it, and when it's right next to you, you wake up in the dark to investigate something, and you can see the glow tape directly in the dark and grab it and do it like that. Because during my hiking trips, I had the problem that I was sleeping in a tent or a shelter, and I needed to go take a piss, but I couldn't find my flashlight because it was rolling beneath my woolen blankets, or it rolled to the side where I could not find it. It was always a game of Marco Polo with it. So put this around your flashlight or any other device that we use to have a light source inside of the shelter. Next thing I would say is, what you can do is, if you have a knife that you're using to do some tasks, and especially if it's a task that you could do in dark, for example, cutting firewood, like with my Glock knife, it has some teeth, or to make some tinder inside of the night. But yeah, if you're going to the night do this shit and you don't always have a light with you because you're close to the fire is your light, and you drop your knife, yeah, in the dark it's easier to spot if it falls between a bunch of leaves, and otherwise it's very hard to find. And even during the day when there is full light and you drop your knife, especially if it's colored like your surroundings, yeah, it could be very difficult to find it between a bunch of leaves. So even then, during the day, it makes it easier to find your light, and even if you drop it in the snow or something like that. So this will increase the chances that you will find your knife. Next thing I would say is, for a gun, in case there is how do you say this, a burglar or something coming inside of your house, I have tried out, and it's actually kind of working, to put some glow tape on parts of your gun. So, for example, the first of all is, I do tape around where you hold it. Why? If you leave this in your drawer or any place where you need to have your gun, it's the same thing that I had with the shelter. So imagine you're waking up in the middle of the night, you hear somebody bashing through the door, you hear them walking towards your room because they want to surprise you, and you don't even have time to find your light, put your light on, or it could be dangerous to put your light on because then they immediately will see the light coming down the hallway and they will know you're there. you can find your gun inside the room in the night. And the reason why I say that you have to put it here is because a lot of people will say, but then the burglar will see you in the night. Not if you put it around here, you grab it, and that way, if you hold it, the glow tape is not visible. So the moment you're holding your gun, the glow tape is not visible for the intruder. But if it's laying in a closet or somewhere else, you will know in the dark, there is my gun, and you can grab it directly. Another thing you can do is you can put some glow tape on the sides. And excuse me, I put a little stripe of glow tape on the other side, the underside of the rear side, and one on the front side. And what will happen is, if you aim it, I don't know if you can see it, you can aim it in very dark or low light situations. So in that way, you have at least a way of aiming the gun in the low light situations or the dark towards an intruder, instead of giving away your position with a light or something else. So that can help you. And I would advise, if you're going to do it on the rear side, put it lower than the notches. Why? Because if you put it a little bit higher to the height of the notches, you will not differentiate between the front side. So I don't know if you can see it, but now you can aim it, because you can see when it's between the notches, and you will still have the reference of the glow tape lower there. So that way it can help you especially if there are some burglaries happening where they are bashing in through fast and quick, not like that you have all the time in the world to get the light, get your gun, and you go there. So that is something that I've been testing it, and it works pretty alright. Oh, and I need to tell you something first. If you're going to use glow tape, it will last for about 8 hours, so it has to be in a room that is lighted by sunlight, that it can take the how do you say this, the UV light from it. Alright, we're going to the next one, and that will for that I will need to show you in the completely dark. So another thing that you can do with glow tape is put it on top of your compass. And if you have a map and you want to navigate in dark, but you cannot put a flashlight on because it can be seen from far away. If you're in a hostile area, like during a war, if there are during a bug out criminals lurking around like marauders or something, then with this you can actually glow enough to see. It's like one of those army red lights. You can see enough, but nobody can see it from far away. So yeah, you'll be more or harder to spot, more stealthier than with a flashlight or any other torch, and you can still read the map that way. I'm going to test out if you can see this on camera, but I tested it out and I could read the map while using this. I'm going to turn off the light. You can see in the dark it still reflects a lot. I don't know if you can see my glowing of my hands. I can now read the map. I can see the letters, I can see the roads, but I don't know if it's visible onto the camera. I'm going to put the light back on. So, it's probably not visible through the camera, but I can assure you, only a strip of glow tape onto your compass, and I was able to read the map. So let's go to the next point. So another thing you can do is, if you have stairs, you can put some glow tape on the top and on the downside. So the thing is, the idea about this is, if you have to take a leak in the night and there is a blackout, or you need to get upstairs or downstairs without there is a possibility for using a light, a torch, or whatever, then yeah, then this glow tape here is helpful for navigating from upstairs and downstairs. I'm going to turn off the light so you can see it. How it would look like. I don't know if you can see this in the camera well, but there is still, you can probably see the white stripes lighting up. And another thing is, idea about this is, it's not only for navigating in the dark when there is no electricity or light, but also if you are sleeping upstairs, there's a burglar coming inside, and you can see by the lines that are disappearing that he's probably on the staircase, and that way you can try to guess where he's, estimate where he's around there and shoot. So that's something that you can do. And yeah, the problem only thing is, don't use stairs that are always in the dark, because otherwise these will not get enough UV light to light it up. So it should be always be on stairs that get some light from outside shine on them. Let's go to the next point. Another thing you can do is put some glow tape on top of the light switches. So that could be very handy to find the light switch when it's dark, or when you don't have a flashlight nearby and you need to light up the room. It could be always be handy to use that. So if you're going to put the light out, I can see the green stripe, but I hope it's visible on the camera. So yeah, let's go to the next point. All right, the next point is, on the doors that are exits, you can mark it with a cross of glow tape for several reasons, actually. The first reason is obviously to find the exit when there is a blackout, and you can in the dark navigate through your house and find always the doors. So that's one handy thing. Another handy thing is, if it's dark or low light and you hear somebody trying to bash the door open, you will have a reference point to aim your gun at towards the, how do you say this, towards the door. And it should be what I just did this. What I think is the best thing is, either you put it on the side of the height of the eyes, so you know this is usually where a normal person's height is head is, so everything below it is the body mass that you can shoot. But you can also choose to put it lower and you have a target of the body mass. Depends on what your preferences are or how you're perfectly going to aim, but I prefer to do it on the height of the eyes, because if I'm going to walk around, that way I can navigate better through the house, through the dark, to find the exit, so to say. All right, next point. All right, next point is, if you're going on a bug out with a group and it's night, you probably want to know who is who, and especially in the dark, if you have shelter somewhere and there is the risk that you will be, you can be targeted by robbers, the owners of the property that you're sleeping on during the bug out, or perhaps police or military, depending on what situation, and you don't want to be caught. So if you're going to navigate with multiple people, I would say, I don't know if you can see this, but you can glue some, you can put some glow tape on the back of your cap, and that way, if you're walking around, people know that they have to follow this because they are part of the group. You can also perhaps help to recognize each other by, the leader of the group can have a 1, the secondary person can have 2, and the third person can have 3 stripes. So even in the dark, then you can navigate and recognize who is who in a way. So yeah, that could be very handy. Next point. All right, the last point I could make is, put some glow tape underneath your wrist. And that way, if you're going to navigate in the dark, you can at least have a very small light source to find certain things if you cannot be seen outside, or yeah, something like that. So yeah, it's a little bit far stretched, but we're talking about possibilities depending on certain situations. And yeah, that is one possibility. It's not the best, but that is what I'm always urging on this channel, is try to improvise depending on the situation that you're in. And yeah, even bad ideas can be used in some situations. Alright, so we're done here. If you got any other ideas to how to use glow tape, please let me know. Perhaps I will make a video about glow paint or something. But now I was specifically talking about glow paint, and perhaps somebody else out there has some other ideas or tips or hacks. Please let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to learn. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Stay safe and see you in the next video. Cheers!